My name's Helen Pennant. I'm Director of the Cambridge Trust. My role is to oversee all aspects of the Trust's operations, from the service we offer to students to the relationships we have with our partners.
Hi, I'm Tendai Kariwo. I'm the Partnerships Manager here at the Cambridge Trust. My job is to head up the partnerships section of the Cambridge Trust, looking after all our partners from around the world and at Cambridge.
The Cambridge Trust is an independent body set up over 40 years ago to provide financial support to students.
And we do this in collaboration with partners to ensure that we create adequate and appropriate support for students to thrive at Cambridge.
Our focus is on international students, although we now support students of any nationality.
The reason I'm here in Cambridge is because I was a Trust Scholar. My entire professional journey is a result of a Trust Scholarship.
The Trust was set up in the 1980s at a time when fees for international students were significantly raised. The Trust was originally set up to help students from the Commonwealth.
The Trust, originally it started off as just the Commonwealth,
but quickly expanded to help international students of any nationality.
The work of Cambridge Trust, like I said, is offering financial support, but at the same time, it's the work that they do changing lives of individuals by giving them a second chance to pursue education, as well as empowering the communities that they come from.
In 1999, I had just finished my postgraduate degree in applied psychology at the University of Delhi in India. And I was looking for a place to do my PhD. My parents did not have that financial acumen available to them. So not only could they not fund my studies, but we didn't even have enough money to really put in applications which needed to be sent by snail mail at that time. So while I was on this quest to find out what next to do, one of my aunts actually took me to a counseling center. On the table, there was a newspaper, and the page it was open on had a small advert which announced the Cambridge Commonwealth Trust scholarships. That's what the trust was known as at that time. And the most beautiful thing about that little scholarship advert was that it said that you could drop the applications to the University of Cambridge at the Delhi office, which the trust had at that time. So I called up my dad and I said, listen, I think I'll apply for Cambridge. And he said, okay, go for it. And he could hand in the application in person. I got a fully funded scholarship to go on for a PhD. And as they say, rest is history.
So in terms of my own personal journey as a student coming to Cambridge, it felt like a very big decision. And Cambridge, has this reputation where I guess I was a little bit intimidated by it. I thought maybe I'm not smart enough, or I'm not going to fit in some way. But the Trust was incredibly helpful even back then. I remember that I felt a real warmth coming from the Trust in terms of them. I mean, to them, I thought I'm just a statistic. I'm just one little student in a sea of many. But they actually reached out to me. They made things that seemed impossible seem possible. And I felt very supported by them, even as a student. And then when I first arrived here, they had welcome events and so on. And before I knew it, I discovered that Cambridge was a place that embraces everyone. It doesn't matter what your background is, what your context is. It is such a melting pot of people from all different backgrounds.
They do strive very much to be very international in their perspective. And I've always felt that that's become more and more important. It was always very important, but it's become more and more important.
For me, I think that the Trust, plays a vital role in facilitating the integration of scholars from right across the world, not just through the provision of generous funding for them to make a way for themselves here at Cambridge, but also helping to build out a community of thinkers and doers.
To insist on the sanctity of education, as on the rights of education for anyone, anywhere who seeks it.
So scholarship is a package that we put together to ensure that students are supported when they're at Cambridge. What I mean by that is that we help them with their tuition fees, living costs, and other items such as airfare or visa costs. So we make sure that we create a package that supports the students with their costs whilst they're at Cambridge?
If we can, we like to offer full cost scholarships. That means that they cover all the fees that the student needs to pay and also provides them with the means to live by way of a maintenance stipend. For international students, we would also aim to cover significant one-off expenses such as the international health surcharge.
When looking for my course and kind of the admission requirement, I also stumbled upon the page about funding, and that is when I saw just how many scholarships were offered under the Cambridge Trust.
We offer around 500 scholarships each year. These are grouped in different programs. A program might target students from a particular country or in a particular subject area or degree type.
Cambridge Australia's scholarships was set up in 1983, which I think was the same year that the Cambridge Trust started. So we're celebrating our 40th anniversary at the moment. Ever since that point of inception, the Trust and Cambridge Australia have worked together very closely to bring the brightest and the best students from Australia to come to this fantastic institution and then take their studies out into the world to do something wonderful.
The Trust has a wide variety of partners and we have nearly 90 of them. We work with a lot of other trusts and foundations. Those are like organisations which share objectives with the Cambridge Trust.
So what's it like, Kaz, working with the Trust? We have very regular communication between myself and the director. We're both on the same page and working together. So it's a very, very collaborative relationship. It's about reaching out to students of universities in Australia and convincing them that Cambridge is a real option for them despite being on the other side of the planet. But it's not only the distance, it's also the potential cost. A lot of students will look at that as simply not an option for them in terms of the cost of funding that experience. But this is where the Trust and Cambridge Australia scholarships will step in and make that happen for people. And hopefully we can ensure that people who otherwise may not be able to make it to Cambridge can actually get here.
Working in partnership with the Trust is important because it allows us to do more than we could with our own resources. It also helps us to draw on our partners' knowledge and expertise, whether it's in their field or in their countries. And this helps us with recruiting the brightest people coming to Cambridge.
We aspire to offer more than just finance to our students, and our partners help us to connect with potential students, identify those students who can most benefit from the scholarships, and they also help us to provide a very positive experience for students while they are at Cambridge and after they graduate.
My name is Sue Keogh and I'm the founder of a digital marketing agency called Sue Keogh here in Cambridge, and we've been working with the Cambridge Trust since about 2018.
Communications are really important for the Trust. We aim to make our information as transparent as possible to all those who can benefit from applying to the Trust for a scholarship or working with the Trust.
Communications for the Trust are quite complex. We have many groups of people we need to communicate with. First and foremost, the students we support, of course, as well as prospective applicants around the world. Our funding partners who work with us to provide that support, our colleagues across Collegiate Cambridge.
So we use as many tools as we can to reach out to potential applicants, to connect with our students while they're here, and also to work with our partners and stakeholders.
Work we've been doing with the Cambridge Trust is really focused on digital marketing. So we've developed the Facebook page, we've really built that up over the years, and that's gone from just a couple of hundred people to about 140,000 now, which is great. And then more recently we've introduced Instagram as well, and using both of these platforms that are used so broadly across the whole world has meant we've really reached people in a really effective way. So what are the things that you think have been particularly successful, Helen?
Well, I'm very impressed at the reach that we've been able to
Yes.
establish with such a wide range of countries.
So we've been everywhere from Ethiopia, Sudan to Palestine, different parts of the Far East, all over the place. And so because we're using digital platforms, we can get to places that there's no way you could even get near just with traditional forms of marketing.
There are many projects I've enjoyed, particularly one of our digital projects, Faces, Voices, Stories, in which we featured our students and our alumni. They are the most impactful people to tell the outside world about the Trust and what we do. Their stories, how they came to Cambridge, what they did while they were here, and what they go on to do are extremely impactful for prospective applicants.
I think one of the things that we've done that's had the greatest impact has been telling stories, and the sorts of people that apply to scholarships through the Cambridge Trust have got some incredible stories, and it's been such a privilege for me to meet some of these people either online or face to face and hear about the stories, their backgrounds and their aspirations. It's just been an absolute privilege.
One of the smaller projects that we started doing was getting our partners and the students together, and we invited our Rowan Williams Cambridge students into a Zoom call with Dr. Rowan Williams, after whom that studentship is named, so he could welcome them personally and chat with them about their aspirations for their studies here in Cambridge. Rowan was delighted to be able to meet them, albeit in 2 dimensions. And I really enjoyed that event. It showed that you could keep communicating.
In-person communications are very important to me. I have appreciated all the innovations which allow us to connect. But for me, what I particularly enjoy are the opportunities to meet students in person, in particular when we hold our events. As there is often a celebratory atmosphere when the students come together, and also giving them the opportunity to meet the partners who can also attend.
Because you'll be a Trust Scholar if you join us, you're also joining a community of students from around the world. You might be the only one from your country, but I can guarantee you there's someone from the region that you will meet here and connect with new friends.
You know, it was a life-changing experience, and that it's something that I've just never been able to let go of. And that connection that you build with Cambridge and the people that you meet here, and the sheer intellectual stimulation of the place is something that stays with you for your entire life.
The Trust is not only, an organization, it's a community. I think it's a really big community of students, and through that community, I mean, there are a lot of events.
I think for me, the best part of the job is at those large or small physical events, meeting our students that we support. They are the reminder of why I do the job I do.
Informal and formal events. Sometimes it's not uncommon to just be minding your own business in the dining and someone say, "Oh, are you under the Cambridge Trust?" "I am too," and you just kick off and have a really good conversation.
I am Helen Pennant. I am the director of the Trust. I am just absolutely delighted to be back at a large Cambridge Trust event.
And then there are also formal events like the tea at Feeds, which was really good. I remember perfectly, there was the best cake that I ever had. But other than the food, there was also a really good opportunity to meet other students. I met students from Africa who I had never even met in Cambridge. It was possible for me to meet them there. And also it was very important, it was very interesting to meet also partners that fund, that offer support to students.
I'm so proud to be here with the Cambridge Trust scholars and our supporters. Those supporters give in many ways. Many of them give financial support, others give time, expertise, and we depend on you all for our success.
So I think it's those kind of meetings where it's not only students, but you also get to meet these people that are passionate about the Trust. They are also passionate about supporting you, and being in that space where you can share your story firsthand it's very empowering.
Some of you came up to me and shared your stories, and I'm going to give you a little shout out now.
What I'm really looking forward to with our work with the Trust is just hearing more and more stories and seeing this wonderful ripple effect.
It's an incredible privilege on my part to be able to express that with every letter of acceptance we provide, and every letter of, every positive letter we can send students and scholars around the world whose lives are changed.
Coming back to Cambridge this week, actually I had a couple of fortuitous meetings. I came face to face with a porter who actually started in his role in the year 2000, which was the year I came to Cambridge. There was just that instant connection, and we started regaling each other with stories of the last 23 years, and it was great. And so it felt like something of a homecoming. Yeah.
It's a continuing thing. It's it's sad, and sometimes, you get very friendly and very close to a visiting fellow or student, and then they go off, they go back, but then we get a fresh intake. So it's like a sort of wave, a rolling wave that carries on, and I find that hugely stimulating.
So there's a kind of rolling, multi-generational moment now for these scholarships. There's a power to that, I think, in a place, in an institution as old as Cambridge, to begin to have this wider expanse of people who can think of themselves as part of an intellectual lineage that traces itself to Cambridge.
When I look at the Cambridge Trust Scholarship and what it has done for me, it's not only me as an individual coming to Cambridge and pursuing a PhD. Coming here, I brought an entire community. I brought an entire community of students, and an entire community of women who thought, they cannot do this. So for me, I look at that impact very qualitatively, and I think I want to encourage even funders to look at it that way, so that they can be encouraged to continue giving and to continue supporting students under the trust.
Making these opportunities available to individuals across the global south, for instance, and across many other countries, really promoting scholarship in the field, intellectual curiosity, irrespective of the financial background of a scholar. So I think those are the things which have motivated me to be able to sit on the other side as a trustee and also see the big decisions that get made.
The Cambridge Caribbean Scholarship provides a solid pathway for the next generation of thinkers and doers to come to Cambridge, to deepen their expertise, make a way for themselves, move on their ideas, and most importantly, to become the change makers of tomorrow.
Great for it, and great for the work it's doing. I am a 101% supporter.
The most satisfying thing for me is meeting the students. When they finally arrive, it's a sense of achievement, an immense satisfaction, and also really wonderful to be able to then get to know the person that's here.